This is a slide that gives a manifestation of our crisis. Well, our crisis is also the end of a paradigm. The end of a paradigm that is based on bipolar thinking. Let me explain what bipolar thinking is. Bipolar thinking is if you have something on one side, you don't have it on the other side. Okay, let me give you some examples. I do very often work for MBAs. I teach MBA courses, and I ask them, why would an organization centralize, why would it decentralize? Now, how do you recognize an MBA? The answer is there before you finish the question, right? Because they think there's a correlation between speed of answering and intelligence. And they say, okay, standardization, economies of scale for centralization, and close to the customer, flexibility for decentralization. And then I invite them to first think. They get nervous because normally that's not part of their education, right? Now, if you think about the question, what could be the only answer? And that is the new paradigm. And the answer is very simple. The only reason for centralization is decentralization, right? Because if you're not decentralized, there's nothing to centralize. And for the very quick mind, you know the opposite holds true too. You can only centralize something that is decentralized. Right? Let's take our human body before you think this is a word game. Is our human body centralized or decentralized? And every MBA knows the answer. Yes, it is. Yeah? Let me give you some other examples. Have ever one of you used Myers-Briggs or other crap? Yeah? 3 million people fill in this questionnaire. It's now available for $1 on the internet. It's deductible, so you can do it. Yeah? We had 3 senior British consultants, an English word for old, that came to our office and said, Mr. Trompenaars, you have a database on culture. We have a database on Myers-Briggs. Can you merge them? And then we'll do some analysis. I said, what a great idea. Have you filled it in yourself? I said, no. So I went to the internet and did it. And already I was worried because you get these questionnaires, you know them, you have to choose between A and B, times 100, A or B, A or B. And you get a profile, you say, here we are. They have 4 categories, 4 scales. Are you rather thinking or are you rather feeling? And if you score 80 on thinking, you score 20 on feeling, right? Interesting. Introvert, extrovert, judging, perceiving, and sensing, intuiting, who cares? So I asked them the question, can you explain me? I scored 80 on thinking, why do I only score 20 on feeling? And what worried me is they never asked that question. And they were 25 years in the field. Now, can you explain me why, if you score 80 on thinking, do you need to score 20 on feeling? Now, I know there are people who only feel. We call them neurotics or French. I know people who think. We call them robots. No nationality. I know people who don't do either of them, and they are re-elected as president of a large country, right? Now, if we think of our hero in life, your old professor, your partner, very unlikely your boss, is that a thinker or a feeler? Can I guess? Your hero in life scores 100 on thinking, 100 on feeling, and combines the two. We have made the world bipolar. We're either centralized or decentralized. We're thinking or we're feeling. We are individual or group, and including cultural studies, you're this or you're that. And it kills the world, okay? Including the result of this is bipolar thinking. You have the shareholder and nothing, right? And we were filling our pockets, and it was done at the cost of other values. And it's interesting because this is where we create wealth. And leadership is about creating wealth, in not only money, wealth in a broad sense of the world. Now, what is the essence of creating wealth, which is very innovative, is to combine values that are not easily joined, therefore scarce, therefore profitable. Okay? Now you say, well, what is that? Now let me give you an example. Whoever uses the word we as a consultant or we as whatever need to add value. That's our goal. We need to add value. Now, I know the guy who invented this. This is Michael Porter. Michael Porter said leadership is about adding value. You have the value chain and you add value. And I was in a forum, even larger than this room, 1,500 people. And there was this discussion about adding value, and Michael Porter was there, so I said, this is my moment. Mr. Porter, can I ask you, it's a forum, you write a lot about values, but have you ever read a book about values? And he got irritated, so my mission was accomplished. I said, what do you mean? I said, now, if you read a book about values, you know you cannot add them. Values are not things you can add. He said, what do you mean? I was prepared. So I said, let's take a car. What is the value of a car? For example, speed. Yeah. Safety. Yeah. Can you add speed to a safe car? Easy, you double the engine size. But can I guess? It loses its safety. Can you add safety to a speedy car? Easy. You take off the wheels. Yeah? But it might lose speed. The problem with values is you cannot add them. Values are not addable. Let's add a bit of customer orientation to our corporate culture type of thing. You have to redesign the car. And ask the question in the design, how can we in the design use the speed of the car to make it more safe? And you know, some of you I know how I drive. And I use speed to happen, to avoid all the accidents. They only happen behind me, right? You know those cars who use a parachute to stop? You need the speed for the parachute to brake. And a very simple example is a spoiler. A spoiler on the back of the car pushes the car down the faster you go. So there are ways where you can combine the two. And that's this process. And that's about leadership. And I would like to introduce a concept because your clients are going to nations where it's not the person going to Bangkok to do Thai stuff. No, he and his family, or she and his family and her family is going to Bangkok to manage and Malaysia and Singapore and what have you, you know. And why I'm saying this, because multiculturalism becomes the essence of leadership. And I would like to add this wonderful concept of servant leadership. For me, servant leadership, and already the title says it, it's a reconciled type of concept, will help us beyond cultures. We need a paradigm of leadership beyond cultures. Now, let me show you the definition of servant leadership, because there are a lot of books coming out nowadays on servant leadership by Greenleaf, the originator. And Greenleaf was a guy at AT&T who said, how is it that some leaders go to the top and burn out or burn down within a year, and others stay there for 20 years? He said the difference is that people with a short life as a leader always ask what other people can do for them to go higher. And they are gone very, very easily. And servant leaders, as he calls them, are people who say, what can I do to serve you? Okay? And everybody knows the concept. We only forgot it in business. Because if you are a parent, you know what I mean. The only thing you are there for is to make your children perform better. And it gives you more authority. So a servant leader should not be confused with a servant.